Okay, so now, um, okay, so where do we leave off on Ayin Aleph Amud Beis? Yeah, these next half of Amud gets a little technical, just basically with the boundaries of what Bava was, because we know that Bava is considered the most meyuchas area of of the world, right? Um, so how far does Bavel stretch? Right? Somewhere it's got to end. Somewhere the yichus has to end. So we're up to Ad Hechan Hi Bavel. On to about, I would say, about 15 lines up from
Is
the
that
yeah,
is that going to be a land boundary or a time boundary also?
time. Why time?
What year? What years? It's not the same thing at now.
Well, we're gonna see later in the daf. What I mean? Did anybody here ever ask for yichus from somebody they dated?
Right.
Right. So we have to see what's a pshat, because l'chayra this is not bavel, right? So we'll have to see how it comes out the practical. But the Gemara right here is focusing not on time; it's just focusing on boundaries. So ad hechan hi bavel. Where does bavel go to? Rav Amar ad nahar azak. I know ArtScroll has a whole picture here. If anybody can post that, if anybody wants to post that on the chat, or unless most of the guys have ArtScroll, or if somebody wants to take a picture and if somebody could post, I don't know who's allowed to post nowadays, who's not. Yeah. So ad nahar azak v'shmuel amar ad nahar yoani. Okay, le'el bedigla ad hecha. Okay, what about the diglas ad hecha? How far up the diglas is? We just had it in Bereshis, no? Did it say diglas? The tigers, right? Till far, how far up? Meaning you got to go up, down. We need boundaries on the north, south, east, and west. So Rav Amar ad Bagda v'Avna. Right, these are all names of cities. Shmuel Amar, I'm assuming they're cities. Shmuel Amar ad Mushkani. So the Gemara says, "V'loy Mushkani b'chlal." Is Mushkani, meaning when he says up until that city of Mushkani, does it mean it includes Mushkani? V'amar Rabbi Avar Rechiv Bar Abba Amar Shmuel Mushkani harehi kegoyla liyusin. Mushkani is like considered like goyla, not Bavel. Elo ad Mushkani b'chlal. It means Mushkani, and Mushkani is included. So you can, as long as you marry a girl from Mushkani, then you're fine. Right. Fine. The tachtis bediglas arechel. So that's the up the Tigris. What about down the Tigris River? How far down? Rav Shmuel ad Afamya Tata until Afamya Tata. I guess there were a couple of cities called that. Tati Afamya Havian. Then there were two. Meaning they were. I don't guess. Meaning there were two cities. There was the upper Afamya and there was the lower, or just Afamya and the lower Afamya. Chada Elisa v'chada. One is obviously higher, one is lower. I don't know if they went with the same name or not. I don't know what the difference would be. Fine. Chada Kshera.
The
One is,
the map that you said, it says Upper Apamya and Lower Apamya.
yeah, I'm saying that's the Taisha of the Gemara. Right? Yeah. Good, thank you. So Chada Kshera, one's kosher, meaning the higher one is kosher because that's closer to Bava. The Chada Psula, one's pasul. Ubein Chada l'Chada Parsa. And the amount of space, whatever, the distance between each one is a parsa. The kokapti adadi, and they're makbid on each other, meaning they stay away from each other. Vafilu nura loy moshli adadi. They won't even lend each other fire, right, for a cigarette. Right? That's the one thing people share: cigarettes, fire for cigarettes. Right? They're not even willing to share a fire, right? For simonech the psulta, the one that's puzzle is the mishnah mishanis. That's where they speak mishan. Rashi says that's the lower one. That's the lower one is more of an issue. Meaning, so they were so makbid not to have any contact with each other for the concern that they shouldn't marry each other. Right? So you see that there's precedence for not taking kids into schools if you don't want them to be influenced. Can we say that? Are we stretching it too much? Right? Okay. How about up the Nahar Pras, which is almost parallel? Right? So Rav Amar at Akra the Toviki. Shmuel Amar at Gishra the Beit Pras.
Yaakov, it depends who's doing the separating.
What do you mean?
I mean, you're saying what you're marshal about the schools. Who's
Right.
making the decision?
You mean the people? Well, the people that don't want to mix with the people who don't have good yichus. No, isn't that I'm saying?
What's the criteria for good yichus or not?
No, so that's what I'm saying. In this town, they knew that the other town did not have good yichus.
Okay.
That's I would say I don't. I'm assuming it was the town that was the upper town that was closer to Bavel that had the better yichus, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So Ad Gishra the Beit Pras. So Shmuel said it was up to this bridge of Beit Pras. Rabbi Yochanan Amar Ad Ma'avara Gizma until the Gizma crossing. So Layat Abaya v'Tamer Rabbi Yosef had the Rav Abaya, and some say it was Rabbi Yosef who cursed Rav because they didn't like his boundaries, meaning he extended the boundaries of Bavel too far, and people are going to end up marrying women who are not miyuchas. But because Rav had the boundaries far out, then he'd be upset. So he would mess people up. So Abaya was upset, or Rabbi Yosef. So Gemara asked, "Ad the Rav lied? Did the Shmuel lie? They weren't upset at Shmuel. Shmuel's cities went even further, right? So Ella lied at the Rav, v'kolshiken at the Shmuel. He cursed Rav, and as a kolshiken that he cursed Shmuel. Right? Meaning he was very upset at their boundaries. He felt that they were too broad. People saying, really, he was just upset at Rav. The Shmuel and he was not upset at Shmuel. V'gisha the Beit Pras l'tateh. Right? Because by Shmuel, the Gishra the Beit Pras, which is what Shmuel had said was the boundary, that bridge, it was one place, it was different place, meaning it was higher, closer to Bavel on Tamid Aleph. But Idna, who the Luya Parsai, the Parsiim moved the bridge. Literally, I think it means they lifted the bridge and moved it. So therefore, he wasn't upset at Shmuel because Shmuel's boundaries, when he said it, was closer than Rav's. It's just that bridge got moved. Fine. Samarle Abaylu of Yosef, Lahagis of the Pras ad Hecha. What about to the west side of the river? How far does Bava go? Samarle, my daituch. What's Yudas? What are you worried about? Mishum Biram, because you're worried about the city called Biram. Miyafsi the Pumpadisa, Maviram, Mi Biram Naspi. The most meyuchas families in Pumpadisa marry girls marry girls from Biram. So no question, Biram is included. Right? The most choicest people from Pumpadisa will do a shidduch with the people from Biram. So it must be that Biram has a yichus. Right? Okay. I don't know how I guess people from Pumpadisa were very discerning.
Isn't this the opposite of the Meister we had yesterday?
Maybe they had money.
Oh, so that's I think you and Gershon asking the same kasha, right? Because yesterday we said that money makes them get accepted the mamzerim.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Okay.
What are you saying, Gershon?
I was saying, well, Rav Yehuda was the Rosh Yeshiva in Pumbedisa. He's the one we had a Meister where he didn't marry his kid off. Now the best of them married to Biram. What was the problem he had?
Well, if they held Biram as part of Bavel, so then what's the problem?
So why did Rav Yehuda have a problem?
Maybe he wasn't marrying. Maybe it was what's that? Rabbi
He was Rosh
Yehuda.
Yeshiva Pumbedisa.
So maybe it was a different town that they were talking about marrying. Why you say it was Biram?
he didn't marry him off at all. Why didn't he go to Biram?
I mean, his son. Why didn't he go to Biram?
His son, yes.
I didn't. I thought you were talking about a different mice. I mean, the story that he didn't. That was Rabbi Yehuda.
I think so.
He didn't marry off his son. I don't know. Was it Rabbi Yehuda? Yeah.
Yeah. Eklala Pumbedisa will be Rav Yehuda.
Yeah, Rabbi Yehuda's son, Rabbi Yitzchak, was not married. Fair enough. I don't know. Good question. Anyways, I guess that's what happens when you pay attention to names. Yeah. Very good. Fine. So Amar Papa. The same way we have a machlokes for yichus, meaning how far Bavel goes, so the same machlokes with gittin, right? Because we know by gittin, if you bring a get from Medina Sayyam, you need to say b'fanei nechtam. So the question is that considered Medina Sayyam or not? Rav Yosef Amar machlokes liyuchsin. The machlokes is for yichus. Aval legittin divrei akol ad arba tinyana de gishra. Right, it goes up until the second arba is how do you call it? An arba is a agam, a swamp, right? A swamp or a pond. That's the second one past the bridge. This is no ways directions right here, right? You got to go to the second pond past the bridge, and that's where, right? That's where the hidden treasure is, right? That's yeah. So that's the boundary for getting. Fine. So Amar Rabba bar Abba Chavel Yama Tchelta de Bavel. Chavel Yama is considered like the best of Bavel, meaning for Yichus, you go to that section of Bavel and they're the best. I don't know what that means. If you say the whole Bavel is pure, so then why is there there's one particularly good section in Bavel? We're not talking about where the girls went to BJJ.
The Mahadran mean a Mahadran.
Yeah,
Well,
very good, Rahman. But what does it mean? Mahadran what? Either you're in or you're out.
Well, the other places, when they had problems with Psulim, they separated them and sent them out. The best places never had problems.
So you're saying it's better to go to a place that never had a problem because maybe there was a mistake and they didn't weed out everything? Is that what you're saying?
It's definitely going to be better, in people's minds at least.
I hear. Oh, maybe. Maybe. Okay. Fine. Shunya Viguvya Tchilta de Chavel Yama. Shunya and Guvya are the sections of Chavel Yama, meaning but even within the city of Chavel Yama, there's a couple of blocks, I guess, that even have better yichus than the rest of the city. Ravina Amar, Af Tzitzara. Fine, Tzitzara is also a section of the town. Tani Nami Ochi, Chanan ben Pinchas Aimer, Chavel Yama Tchilta de Baba, Shunya Viguvya V'Tzitzura Tchilta de Chavel Yama. Okay, so there are certain blocks that are even better with yichus. Okay, so you see that there was such a concept of doing better shidduchim and better shidduchim and the best guy in Lakewood, top guy in Lakewood. This, saying right, different levels of yichus. But nowadays, Amar Papa, I'm sorry, Papa said, nowadays it's all bets are off because the kusim got mixed in. And it's not true. It's who the minayu. Right? There was once a kusi who came to town and was begging somebody to marry him. He wanted a Jewish girl to marry him. But they didn't give the guy any Yiddish. Right, there goes the neighborhood, Simon. Right, so they didn't give it to him. So Mamela what? So what's going on here? So if you look at Taisus, the second Taisus down. Right. So what's going on? It's a ba minav lo yovule. He wanted a girl from the city, and they didn't give it to him. For Lachain, Taisus says Haitzi aleim las, but that's why the rumor went out that you see these people are intermarrying. And the Yesh Mefarshim Tosa says the Kaya the Rav Papa, that it's going on Rav Papa, that Rav Papa, because Rav Papa is the one that reported this, right? So we're saying it's not true. Rav Papa made a mistake, right? V'loy nehira, the Chas v'Shalom Tosa says sheyala b'daita shel oisei tzadik lohoitzi laz aleim sheloi kidin. Right? Very interesting. Tosa is saying it can't be that this Gemara is going on Rav Papa and saying that Rav Papa was going just basing psukim on rumors, and he was belittling a whole town based on a rumor. That can't be going on Rav Papa. So I don't know how you understand the Gemara not like Tosfos. I mean, Tosfos is saying that can't be. So then what is the Gemara explaining? Right, Rav Papa said, "Oh, nowadays they're not reliable because of kusim. They mix with kusim." We're saying it's not true. So it's not true. It's only a rumor because of that. So Tosfos is saying that can't be going back on Rav Papa. So that means Rav Papa's disagreeing with this. Rav Papa's taka holding that it wasn't just a rumor. Is that what Tosfos means? I mean, Rashi says
No, I thought
same thing as Tosfos, but he doesn't say it as clear.
Tosfos was saying that the Velohi is part of Rav Papa's words.
Is that what he means? Why would he say v'ha'idna?
That which they
Velohi.
say Idna Yarbe Behu Kusai Velohi, it's not true. He's defacing the rumor. That was the point of Rav Papa.
I know, but then, I mean, so the v'ha'idna was not Rav Papa talking. Rav Papa was quoting. Okay, I didn't learn it like that, but okay, maybe better than any shot that I have.
My great grandmother, my mother's father's mother, was 13 when she got married. She was in Paras, which we're about to see, and she had to get married early because this is exactly what happened. An Arab, or a Muslim, I should say, asked her to marry him, and it was very hard to say no because of the lachatz.
Wow,
So she had to get married when she was 13.
Psh, that's wild. Interesting. Wow.
She married. She an Arab when she was
Not working, Rachman. You can't hear you. All right, bye. Okay.
He sounds better now.
Oh, sorry, I'm sick.
He's muted now, so how's he talking? All right, Rachman. I hope the service there. I hope the help there better than the Wi-Fi.
I said she married an Arab when she was 13. I muted myself right after. I try to keep myself muted. You never know
Okay. All right. Okay. We'll give you a pass. We'll give you a pass. Okay. Fine. Omer Papa. Okay. Omer Papa.
It's a delirious story.
I understand he's muted. It must be a delay or something. I don't know what's going on.
Delay till
Okay.
it comes through. It's a delay.
Ah, okay. Amar Papa, Zu Paras de Bursi. Right? This is Paras de Bursi. Right? Fine. Did I skip? No. My Chaval Yama, you did skip. My Chaval Yama. What is Chaval Yama? Amar Papa, Zu Paras de Bursi. Fine. Who gave the Amar Lahu? There was a guy who said to the whoever, to somebody, I know. Min shut mishut. I'm from shut mishut. Amar Rav Yitzchak Nafcha Raglav Amar. So Rav Yitzchak Nafcha stood up on his feet and says, "Shut mishut beina naharas amdes." It's in between the rivers. Okay. V'chi beina naharas amdes mai havi. So what? Meaning, what's the story with that? Is it Babel? It's not Babel. Amar Abai, Amar Rav Chama Ruka, Amar Rav Yosef Bar Chanina. Beina naharas harei kugoyel yosin. It's considered like Golus. Right? And then Memela, so now Rashi says Golus is Pumpadisa. which is interesting because we said before that Pompadisa was looking for the most miyuchasdika places. Okay. Vehechi kaimi, and where is it? Amar of Yochanan meihi dekira ulael, from ihi dekira and up. Amar of Yochanan ad mavarta de Gizma. Rav Yochanan said it's up until the passing of Gizma. Amar Abaya ritzua nafka. There was a little bit of a ritzua that stuck out, right? And that was and that's what it was talking about. Meaning it stuck out into, meaning boundaries are not a straight line. Right? So there was a little bit of it that stuck out. So Amar Rav Ika bar Avin, Amar Rav Chanana, Amar Rav Chalzoin Nahavnud. Those are names of cities. Hare he kegoyla leyosin is like goyla for yosin. Amar Abaya loisa tzitzulei. Another interesting Gemara here. Amar Abaya loisa. Don't listen to him. Again, he said that Chalzoin and Nahavnud are considered like goyla for yosin. But I said, don't listen to him. Yavama he hasam. He has a Yavama. He's supposed to marry his brother-in-law, his brother's wife, and he wants to marry her. But Mela, he has Negias that this place is considered a Meyuchasdika place. All right. So Amalei,
Yaakov,
yeah.
do you ever come across anywhere?
Statement.
It's a very, yes, it is. It's a very interesting statement at the minimum. Yeah.
I mean, he's talking about Rav. Abaya, 4 generations later, first he curses at Rav, then he says, don't listen to Rav because he had a Yavama. What exactly is going on here?
Yeah, it's a shver. I don't know.
Abaya to Rav, who was Tanu Palig?
Yeah. No, I don't think he's saying it to Rav. I mean, ultimately, it was said
Rav. Rav was the one who said it.
Right. But I think that Rav Ika's testimony, B'Shem Rav, he's questioning. Wouldn't that fit more?
Ika had the Yavama?
What?
Because Rav Ika had the Yavama?
I think so.
When was Yibum made Batul? When did they stop doing Yibum?
I don't know.
Before.
According to the notes, it did have a brother. Ika had a brother.
And we wasn't usher to I don't know when they were Maval. Historically, I don't know when they were Maval to Yibum.
It wasn't we had it in Gemara.
Right.
So
I don't know.
It was at least in the days
Would
that
anybody accuse a Gadol today of having bias? Seems weird.
It is. It's a very strange Gemara. Yeah. How do you?
Wouldn't Shmuley have to weigh in on that tomorrow?
I don't know. Ataka. I know we need Shmuley for all this stuff. We need Shmuley for all.
And when he listens tomorrow, he should text one of us.
That's right. Yeah. So Amar Lei. So he said to Abaya, Atu didihi, to Rav Chananel. He see this Gershon. That's how you see it's for sure Rav Ika. He said it wasn't me. It's Rav Chananel. I'm quoting it b'shem Rav Chananel. So Azal Shayil Rav Chananel, and they went to Rav Chananel. Amalu Hachi Amar Rav. Chilaz Chilzayin Nehavnid. Hare he could go to Liosin. He said Rav said it. So I guess when the Gemara said it, Rav Ika bar Avin Rav Chananel and Shem of Rav, do you think they added that after the story? L'chayra. That they must have added that after the story. Otherwise, what do you mean they're going to ask? He quoted it, b'shem. So then they went fact checking. They didn't trust him. They didn't trust anything that he was saying. They
went fact checking because he must have said in the name of Rav Chananel at least.
But if they said it in Shem and Chananel, so what do you have to repeat that to them for?
Who repeated what?
They asked him.
They needed to double check it. So he didn't trust.
When they
accused for whatever reason.
They accused him of Negias because of the Yibum. So then he said, "No, it wasn't me." So that means he didn't quote him in the beginning.
He did.
So then
he
why?
Said, what are you coming to me for? I quoted them.
He's just reiterating that.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Fine. Upliga the Rav Abba bar Kahana, Damar Rav Abba bar Kahana, Ma'itich Siv, Vayinochem Bachalach, Uvachavar Nahar Goizon Va'arim.
Wait, Ritz Yaakov.
Yeah.
Sorry, I meant as a second part to that. He just lied le Rav. So how does it help Abaya to tell him that Rav said it? I don't trust Rav's borders anyway.
Yeah, but maybe this wasn't a controversial border. Maybe this was within
I
there.
mean, clearly there was some controversy here.
Yes, but maybe we don't know. Yeah, but maybe this was a different controversy. I don't know if that was the controversy. I don't know. Anyways, this is talking about the what do you call it? What do they call it? The lost tribes, no? 10 lost tribes? I think that's what this is. Yeah, I mean that Rashi says the Seres Shvatim from Sancherib. Right? Chalav zu chilazin, chavar zu hadayev, nahar goizen zu ginzik, aremade zu chemden v'chevresel. Okay, va'amrila zu nahavet v'chevresel. My chevresel, what does it mean chevresel? Mashmul krach, moshche, choske, v'rumke. Fine. Some Rabbi Yochanan, v'kulam l'psul. All of these places are puzzle. Okay, so now what is it? What do we want for this? So Kosaga died. We thought Mushchi hainu Mushchini. We thought that Mushchi is the same city as Mushchini. We said it's like Goyle Yosin, which is a good place. Ella Mushchi Lechud. Well, there's Mushchi and Mushchini Lechud, two different cities. Fine. So the Gemara says Utlas il in b'puma bein shina. Now the Gemara digresses a little bit, and it says that
That was Rebecca's brother, by the way. Rechia Barav.
Oh, that's okay. It was Ravika.
It was Rebecca Baravin, now we have Rechia Barav.
Very good. Very good. Yeah. Utlas ilalin b'pume bein shina. It has 3 ribs in its mouth, between its teeth. What does this mean? Amar Rabbi Yochanan, zu chalzain hadayav unetzivin. Those are 3 cities. Shepamim bailasan. Sometimes the people from Paras swallow them, meaning sometimes it's sort of like Russia. They invade, sometimes they invade, and sometimes they back out. Upam Palatan, and sometimes they just throw them out, meaning they meaning leave them alone. And then there's another type of animal, a second one that's like a bear. So Tana Rabbi Yosef, Elu Parsim Sha'ichlin B'Shaisin Kedoiv, they eat and drink like a bear, Surbalin Kedoiv, and they're fat like a bear, Magadlan Ser Kedoiv, and they grow hair like a bear, Vein Manucha Kedoiv, and they don't rest like a bear. Ravami Ki Havachazi Parsa the Rachim Omar, when Ravami would see a Persian riding, Hainu Duba Naida, that's a bear that's running around. Amarle Rav Levi. I'm sorry, Amarle Rebbe Levi. Harani Parsiim. Let me see some Parsiim. Amarlehem Daimim Lachayole Shel Beis David. They're similar to the army of Beis David. Harani Chevron. Show me Chevron. So Rashi says those are people that are even worse than the Persians. They're stronger and whatever, and meaner. Daimim Lamalachi Chavala. They look like the malachim who do destruction, whatever those look like. Hirani Yishmael. Let me see Yishmael. Diamond the Seirim shall Beis Kisei. They look like the shadim that are in the Beis Kisei. Right? Fine. Hirani Tamid Chacham shall Babel Shomik Tamid Chachamim. Diamond the Malachi Yesharis. They are similar to Malachi Yesharis. Fine. Why? Because they wear white. And Mamela look like Malachim. Fine. Ki Avanicha Nafshe the Rebbe, when Rebbe was being nifter, when he was passing away, Omar, so he said, Humina Ika Bavel. There's a place called Humina in Bavel. Kula Amainoi, the whole place are Amainim. Right? Miss Mascaria, Ika Bavel, there's a place Ascaria, Kula, the Mamzerim. They're all Mamzerim. Birka Ika Bavel. Shnei Achim Yesh. In Birka, there's 2 brothers. Shemachlivin Shesein Zelazeh. They swap wives with each other. So Mamela, everybody's chashed in that town for yichus issues. Pirsa the Satya Ika Bavel. There's Birsa the Satya in Bavel. Hayayim Saru Me'achrei Hamakom. Today they go away. They're turning off the derech. They're going off away from the makom. The akfi pira b'chabri b'shabsa, because on Shabbos they come kavri is fish on Shabbos. So there was a lot of fish in the ponds on Shabbos. And they went and they captured them on Shabbos.
You're allowed to do that?
No, you're not allowed to do that. Exactly.
Okay.
That's yeah, he goofed. That's exactly Gemara's point. Let's see. They went and they trapped. Yeah.
So what if they looked like Malachi shirts because they wore white? So what? What is Gemara telling us?
I mamish have no idea. I don't know. I guess he was asking for what people looked like. So it was all these negative things, the Persians and the whatever the other guys' names were, and the Yishmaelim. So he said, okay, what does the Talmud Chacham look like? All right, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, so these guys went and they trapped fish on Shabbos.
I mean, from the chief in Shari in Queens.
Shana Torah.
What?
Shana Torah.
Yeah, Shara Torah. So the Adam Gadol who was before. His son is Rosh Hashiva now.
Yeah, Rabbi Zelig Epstein.
So he wore a regular suit and he smoked cigars. So he wasn't a Talmud Chacham.
Oh, because he didn't look like a malach.
Right.
I think back then Talmidei Chachamim smoked. Right? Well, I mean, maybe the smoke around them made them look more like malachim. No.
I said, but he wore a regular suit. He didn't wear.
Yeah, he didn't. He didn't. Yeah, he didn't go with that. He didn't go with the Shemona Begodim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Anyway, so they went and they captured whatever, they trapped fish on Shabbos. So Rabbi Achi, Rebbe Yoshia put them in Cherem. Right? V'shtimud, and then they became Shmad. Because of that, they became Shmad. So Rebbe's saying that these guys are no good. Fine. So Akra da Agma Ika Bavel. Then Rebbe's going through, he's making sure everybody knows the story. There's a place called Akra da Agma Bavel, Adabar Ava Yeshba, and there's somebody named Adabar Ava there on Talmud Beis. Hayom Yoshe B'Chetei Shel Avram, and today he's sitting in the chest of Avram. Oh, it's this week's parsha. Well, according to one shot. So Rashi says, what does this mean? He's having a bris today, right? Because Avram Avinu was the first one to have a bris, right? Like this week. So Mamela, he's that's one way. What's the other place in Rashi? No, that he was dying. He was dying, not a bris fakir. That he was actually dying that day.
Two opinions.
Yeah. Two sheetas in Rashi. So, anyways, Hayoim Noilad Rav Yehuda beBavel. And Rav Yehuda was born in Bavel today. Damar Mar Kishemes Rabbi Kiva Noilad Rebbe. When Rabbi Kiva died, Rebbe was born. Kishemes Rebbe Noilad Rav Yehuda. Kishemes Rav Yehuda Noilad Rava. Kishemes Rava Noilad Rav Ashi. L'lametcha she'ein tzadik nifter min ha'olam ad she'nivra tzadik kemoisa. And tzadik is not nifter in the world until another tzadik born like him. Shenemar b'zorach hashemesh uva hashemesh. The sun rises and the sun sets. Right. So meaning before ad she'leikavsa shimsha shel Eli. I'm sorry. No. I'm saying that's. Meaning the sun rises before the sun sets, meaning there's a gadol that's born before the gadol is nifter. Fine. So the Gemara says, before the sun went down by Eli, Zarcha Shimsha Shel Shmuel HaRamasi was born. Shanemar v'ner Kim Terem Yichbe v'Shmuel Sheichev. Before the ner Kim went out and Shmuel was laying. Tziva Hashem liYaakov Sviva Tzarav. Then it says Hashem commanded to Yaakov, right, that the people
If you're
around
the only one
him.
born that day, you're just not a tzaddik then.
What?
If you're the only one born that day, it means you're just not a tzaddik.
Why? I mean, does nobody die?
The tzaddik dies, the tzaddik is born. Nobody's born that day, you're just not a tzaddik.
Yeah, but maybe you can make yourself into a tzaddik. I don't know. You're just not replacing that tzaddik, Peretz. Well, Peretz, you know, you were born in Lag BaOmer, so watch out. That's not an excuse.
Slide a bunch of years. Yeah, but then it goes into the whole thing. If a guy tzaddik is born already and he's born a tzaddik, so then what's the whole
Where's the free will?
Go through that
Correct.
again. Wake
There you
everybody
go.
up.
He's born a tzaddik?
Well, I'm saying the tzaddik is born to replace him. If he doesn't become a tzaddik, then what kind of replacement was it?
He does become a tzaddik, but he's not a tzaddik on day one. There's going to be a gap. There's going to be a gap there of 30, 40 years till he becomes the tzaddik.
I don't know, David. They were saying I've been a tzaddik since day one, so
Well, present company excluded. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Whatever it is. You got to still work at it, Peretz. Right? So
Parents,
humniya.
mother doesn't count.
Yeah. Humniya for fumnara, right? That they're always making them meshuga. Right? There's also in Yonadiyah, right? The neighbors are always making the yidden meshuga. Right? Then it says in the pasuk in Yechezkel, "Vayiki novi upaltiyo ben benyo meis," and he said it was the way I said in Nevuah that Paltiyo ben benyo died. Ve'epfel al panai, and I fell on my face. Ve'ezak kol gadol, and I called him the kol gadol va'omer aha Hashem Elikim. Right? Is this or woe is Hashem Elikim? So what's going on here? What's this Paltiyo business? Rabbi Shmuel. So we have a machlekes Rabbi Shmuel. Chadam l'toiva v'chadam l'ra. One said this Paltiel was a good Paltiyu, who is a good guy. One said he was a bad guy. Mandam l'toiva kihot istander the Mishon chasnei Nebuchadnezzar, the officer of Mishon, who was the son-in-law of Nebuchadnezzar. Hava he was. So Shalach lei, he sent to Nebuchadnezzar Mekulei hai shavya de asislach, from all the people that you captured, right? Loi shadras lan de kaila kaman. You didn't send anybody to us, meaning Nebuchadnezzar was conquering the world. The son-in-law sent a complaint and said, you haven't sent us any slaves that you've captured. So Yisrael. So Nebuchadnezzar said, okay, I'll send them some Yidden to be slaves. So Paltiyo ben Benayo told him, Ananda Chashvina Neku Mikama Chacham. Yidden are more chashuv. So it's more chashuv for you. It's more chashuv for you to have Yidden as your slaves, so we should stay here. Va'avdin nezlu lahasam, and let our slaves, meaning let the Yidden slaves, go over there to your son-in-law. Fine. Va'amar Navi, mi sha'asa toiva b'Yisrael. The Navi said, somebody who does a good thing for Klal Yisrael, Yomas b'chatze Yamav, should die in half his days. Meaning, this is also a deep hashkafic question, parents, but meaning this Paltiyo saved the Yidden from going to be slaves by Nebuchadnezzar's son-in-law. So the Gemara is saying, yeah, he should die in half his days. So that's one shita, that he was a good guy. Mandamar Lara, the one who says he was a bad guy, the Siva Tabe Yasi al Shar Beis Hashem HaKadmoni. And they brought me to the Shar of the Beis Hashem, meaning the Beis HaMikdash, the eastern gate, Hapoina Kedema, which is facing towards the east. And by the door there were 25 men. And he saw Yaznio ben Uzar and Paltiyo ben Uyo. So that's, by the way, that's pasuk is said someplace else, that he saw 25 people and Paltiyo was part of them. They brought me into the inner part of the Beis HaMikdash. V'hinei Pesach Heichal Hashem, and it was at the Pesach Heichal Hashem, Bein Ha'ulam Bein HaMizbeach, Ke'etzim v'chamisha ish, 25 men. Achayreim El Heichal Hashem Upneim Kedma. Their back was to the Heichal, and they were facing east. Meaning, so the Gemara is zustelling that there were doesn't say here that these 25 men that were in the Beis HaMikdash that were inside were the same 25 men of the previous pasuk that were outside. The Gemara is just making an assumption that this 25 men and 25 men must be the same 25 men, and Paltiyo was part of them, so he must have been part of this crew also. right? So the Gemara says, so what they do wrong? It says that they faced east. Any of don't I know that their back is to the west? Why does the pasuk need to tell you that their back faces Hashem? It shows that they undressed themselves, and they went to the bathroom towards the heichal, right? Which obviously is a major no-no, right? So Paltiyo was one of those 25. That's what the Gemara is assuming. A guy that does something so bad like that should die in his bed, right? He should have a bad death. So that's a machlokes between Rav and Shmuel. To time the Shmuel Damar the Ra. Let's have a proof that Shmuel said it's for the bed. Damar Rav Chia bar Abba Damar Shmuel Moshcheni Harehi Kagoyla liyuchsim. Moshcheni, which we had on Amud Aleph, is like Goyla for Yuchsim. Misha and Loi Chashula. Misha, and they weren't worried about Loi Mishum Abdus or Loi Mishum Amzerus. And the Kahanim Shayuba Loi Kpilu ala Grushas. But the Kahanim there weren't makbid on Grushas. So what do you see from this? That he wasn't worried about Avadim going down there, right? So Memela must be he held that that there was no way that the Avadim, meaning if you go with the first version, so Paldio caused it that the Avadim didn't go down to wherever the name of the place was, right? He's saying that it never happened, right? Because he's not concerned that there were ever any slaves over there. Right? Fine. Shmuel could really say he was a good guy, but Shmuel Amar Hamafkir Avdoi, somebody who makes his Evet Hefker, Yatza Lecheres, he goes out to Cheres, man. It's all get Shikra. He doesn't need to get Shikra, right? We had this in the Gittin. Right, I think we have a Gittin or Kiddushin. Right, somebody makes his get Hefker. Normally, when you free an Eved, you have to give him a star that he's free. So Shmuel is saying that no, if you make your Eved Hefker, then he goes free. He doesn't need to get Shikr. Shenever call Eved Ish Miknas Kesef Eved Ish V'lei Eved Isha. What does it mean? It's a Eved Ish and not an Eved Isha. Ela Eved Sheyesh LeRishus. The Rabbi Yalav, if his master has Rishus on him, Kari Eved. Eved Shein LeRabbi Rishus Alav and Kari Eved. Fine. So you see, they were not avadim. Even if they went down there, they were freed. They were made hefker, so they didn't have a din avadim. So there was no intermarriage issues with the kehanim. Fine. Here you go, Naftali. This is the Gemara right here. Every land is a cheskas kashrus, and that's it. Which is exactly the way Shulchan Aruch paskins like this. All mishpachas cheskas kashrus, and you're allowed to marry them. Right? The only thing that Shulchan Aruch says, if you see two families that are fighting with each other, now they're fighting type people, then stay away. Right? Fine. So that's basically why what we're saying nowadays, that we don't do any major yichus checking. Fine. Ameimar surely the Rav Huna bar Nasan. Ameimar allowed Rav Huna bar Nasan leminsav itza michuzaisa, to marry a woman from Chuzaisa, right? Meaning which was not in Bavel. Amar le Rav Ashi might die. What's your das? Amar Rav Yehuda Amar Shmuel Zuda Rameir. They're all in cheskas kashrus. But he didn't say it b'shem Shmuel be'Rav Papa loy masni hachi, and they didn't learn it like this. Or be'Rav Zvid loy masni hachi, they didn't learn this, right? So meaning that they learned that they were a problem. The afilu like kibla minei, he wasn't makabel from him. B'shem tishmiya le Rav Zvid in Arda. He heard from Rav Zvid from Arda that we were matter the yichus for all these people. Fine.
Now, this is the same Rav Yehuda. I reiterate my kasha from before. This Rav Yehuda Amar Shmuel was didn't marry his son off, but he paskins like Rav Yehuda. The kol arotz is ksheris.
I don't know. You're right. I hear.
It's the opposite. He holds like Shmuel, and the Chachamim hold everyone's kosher. He holds like Rav Meir. It says that there's an issue.
No, he says in the name of Shmuel, all of this before is the words of Remeir. But the Chachamim, who we paskin like hold,
Yeah, but who's saying
all
it?
are Ksheris.
Right. So
Rabbi
so
Yehuda
Rabbi
Amar
Yehuda is
Shmuel.
consistent with having to say that not everybody's pure.
Oh, you're saying the
No,
same thing.
Pater.
Yeah.
No. Wait, what's Rabbi Yehuda saying in the name of Shmuel?
Well, the question
Saying-
is who's Rabbi Huda holding like? He's saying over in the name of a few people.
No, just one.
It sounds
It's
like he's
Rabbi
holding
Shmuel.
like Rav Meir because the next line is Aval HaChachamim say this, but the Chachamim say everybody has a Cheskes Kashrus.
I don't know. Usually, I think that means that we paskin like the Chachamim. That this whole discussion has been in the sheet of Reb Meir. L'maisa, the Chachamim
Right.
hold color as a Ksheris. We paskin like the Chachamim. Never paskin like Reb Meir over the Chachamim.
I don't know. I'm not sure. Yeah, he could be. I'm not sure which Rabbi Huda is going on this. Also, it could be he changed his mind when he heard the Chachamim, right? I don't know.
When?
Okay.
After his son got married.
Maybe. Or maybe after this he changed mind, then his son got married. The Gemara doesn't end off whether his son got married. Okay, Tanrabanan. Another interesting Gemara here. Mamzeri unesini taharim lasid lavai. Now, based on yesterday's Gemara, this is a little difficult. Mamzerim and nesinim lasid lavai. When Mashiach comes, they're going to become tar. Divi Rav Yaisi and Rameir Aimer ain't taharim. They're not tar. Right, so there's a couple of ways to learn this. Didn't we got? I mean, that's it. There's all mamzerim in the future are fine, right? So the question is it's a machlokes rishonim as to what are we talking about here? Are we talking about mamzerim who are mixtures, like we learned yesterday, right? Those are the ones that are tar, but those that are vaday mamzerim, they can't become tar. Or do we say no? He means vaday mamzerim, that they're going to become tar, right? Eliyahu Hanavi is going to be mad to them, right? Yeah. So the question is how that's going to work. I don't know. Shah, right? Like a temporary heter. I mean, it doesn't mean that you can go be Mazana when Mashiach comes and you're going to have mamzerim and they're going to be matir, right? That's clearly not what it's saying. Must be that it's going to be a dispensation according to those shitas. When Mashiach comes, and you're like, okay, everybody jump on now, because we're allowing everybody. I don't know. Either way, it's a machlokes how to understand this Gemara. Says, I put mayim tahirim on you, you're going to be tar. So it sounds like they're becoming tar from Hamzerus. It says you're going to become tar from all your tumas and your glulim. Glulechem, that usually it's meant like avodah zarah or something. But for loyman Hamzerus, not from Hamzerus. Some of the Rabbi Yossi, Kishuaymer Atareschem. When it says I'm going to be Matar, you have Yoimer af min Hamzerus. You're going to say even from Mamzerus. So Mishnah Rameir had to say, but Yoshem Mamzer ba'Ashdod, and a Mamzer is going to be in Ashdod, right? Meaning they're going to put all the Mamzerim into Ashdod, right? El Rabbi Yossi, my Yoshem Mamzer ba'Ashdod, according to Rabbi Yossi, is who's they're going to all be mutter. So why are they putting all the Mamzerim in Ashdod? So can the Betaga Rabbi Yosef?
Everybody who lives in Ashdod is going to have to move.
I don't know how that's going to work. It's like I guess like Are Miklot, right? They're busy. They have all the murderers in their city. So Ashdod's going to have all the mamzerim according to that version of it. But then, we're talking Rabbi Yosef, like Rabbi Yosef Taich, Yasman Beis Yisrael, the Rosh Ba'aron. The basic Klal Yisrael will sit. The Rosh means they're going to be able to dwell in the land peacefully. Right? right? When meaning before that they were like Nachrim, they were like strangers there, right? Meaning it doesn't mean mamzer here doesn't mean mamzer like doesn't mean literal mamzer. It means people that were thrown around, meaning the Yidden were bounced around. Eventually, Lasid Lavai are going to be in Eretz Yisrael peaceful, right? So it doesn't mean mamzer. Amar Rabbi Yehuda Amar Shmuel Halacha Rabbi Yaisi. The law is like Rabbi Yaisi that there's going to be no more mamzer. Amar Yosef Ilab Damar Rabbi Yehuda Amar Shmuel Halacha Rabbi Yaisi Ava Asi Eliyo Mapik Minon Tzivani Tzivani Klaren. If we wouldn't, this you also can get into a lot of hashkafa with this one. If it wouldn't be that the halacha is like Rabbi Yaisi, Eliyahu Hanavi would come and he would take all the mamzerim by the neck, tzvari like handcuffs of the neck cuffs, right? Kolarin, he would remove them, right? But since we paskin that all the mamzerim become mutter, so then therefore Eliyahu Hanavi can't do it. Right, so that's l'chayra raya to Torah le'b'shamayim. I don't know if it's a raya, meaning really they should Eliyahu Navi would remove them, but since Rabbi Yossi paskin that would matar them, so now Eliyahu Navi is meshubah to Rabbi Yossi to the way we paskin. I don't know. That seems to be the only way to. I don't know if it's the only way to understand it, but that seems to be the pashut pshat, right? Yeah. Okay, we'll stop over here. Tomorrow we continue with Mamzer and the Yichus. We're out of the real Agada to Gemaras of that. All right, Pei Gimel. Anybody has the Tillums in front of them? Yeah. Pere Pei Gimel. Yeah. That we should only B'sudas Taivas and Eretz Yisrael. Yes. Shir Mizmar Lo Asaf. Elohim Al Dami Loch Al Techarash Al Tishkait El. Ki Hine Oivecha Yemayun Umislenecha Nosurosh. Alamcha Yarimu Said, Visiatsu al Tfunecha, Amru Lachum and Achidim Higai, Vela Yizach Hashem Yisrael Oid, Ki Noyatsu Lev Yachtov Alecha Bris Yichroisu, Halay Edom Vishmaelim Mayam Vihagrim, Vigval Vamain Vamalik Peleshes, Im Yosh Vitzor, Gam Ashur Nilva Imam, Hayu Zeroya Levnei Light Sela, Aselam Kimidyon, Kisisra Kiyavin Benachal Kishon, Nishmelu Veindar, Hayu Daimon La Adama. Shisemai, Nidivemai Ka'ire Vichazeiv, Vichasevach Usamuna Kondisichemai, Asher Amru Nirshalanu, Es Nois Elihim, Elihai Shisemai Kagalgal, Kikash Lifnei Ruach, Keish Tevar Yar, Uchilahava Salaid Harim, Kain Tir Defem Besarecha, Usavos Chusavaleim, Male Fneim Koloin, Vivakshu Shimcha Adonai, Yevoshu Vibolo Adeyad, Yachburu v'yavedu v'yedu ki ata shimcha Adonai levadecha el yoin al kol haaretz. All right, we should hear only B'sudas Taivas from for everybody.
Amen.